Hi, my name is Joshua, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything that you do and everything that you did. I mean, you were my childhood. I used to watch Blue's Clues on TV before when I got home from school, and I had a little blue lunchbox that I would take with me everywhere, and I wasn't ashamed of it, and I don't think anyone should be.
No.
And I used to watch Blue's Clues on VHS too, if anyone still remembers what that is.
I could work on VCR before I was
So yeah, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say you're amazing, and thank you so much.
What was your name again?
Joshua.
Joshua, thank you for all those incredibly kind words. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you.
I also had a question.
Oh, aren't you sly? Go ahead.
So as somebody who's interested in kind of pursuing film and television as a career, I was wondering if you had any insight into working in children's TV and sort of that interactivity between children and providing education for young children through the form of television.
Well, first of all, I would say a couple things. Fred Rogers kind of put a giant red caution sticker on kids' TV, and I think on all of kids' media in perpetuity. He said, you know, the responsibility is great because to a very young child, anything that comes out of the TV is sanctioned as caregiving in the house. It's no different than what comes out of the stove. It's okay because it came out of an appliance in the house, right? That's huge. The other thing is that there's a lot of children's television exists, a lot of children's media exists as a commercial for consumer products. Paw Patrol is an excellent example, right? Those were toys before it was a cartoon.
Right.
You know, so in that there's that kind of vein in children's entertainment. If you have something with like really strong CP, consumer, you know, products kind of thing, it's more likely to get produced. You know, but that's also the problem. And the other thing I would say is if I'm 4 years old and someone says, what kind of children's television do you like? I'd be like, what is television? You know, it's something you can touch, move. I would get away from, if you really want to make media for your kids, I would get away from the idea of television. You know, and move more into something that can be actually interactive. You know what I mean? More of a gaming space.
Yeah.
As it pertains to education, that kind of stuff is where I think it's headed.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, my name is Brian, and this is actually not my first time meeting you. I did one of the GalaxyCon virtual chats, and I just want to say that, you know, they say never meet your heroes, but you're the exception.
I met some of my heroes, and it was awesome.
Oh, cool.
Okay, maybe I'll have a bit.
Yeah.
So you know, so about a while ago, we finally had that Blue's Clues movie that came out to TV. So what was it like actually getting to work on sets and go outside as opposed to just being in front of a blue screen?
It was awesome. That was such a fun thing. It was a bad idea, though, for them to be like, all right. I was like, you know, well, just like Steve and Joe can be like, you know, Timon and Pumbaa in the background, you know. We don't have to do much, you know. And so they put us up in a hotel together for 3 weeks in New York City, and that was a stupid idea. But it was just so much fun. It was really fun watching Josh fly. Like, Josh is such a talented dude, like Broadway level, crazy good singer-dancer. And just getting to see him. He was like a Blue's Clues host with a cheat code or something. And he could just do everything. But it was just a joy to like actually have banter and to like actually get to loosen up a little. And it was so much fun. I could have done that all year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, how are you?
Good. Name's Andrew. Just wanted to say, big fan of Blue's Clues growing up. I even had my own little handy-dandy notebook that I would write in, do my little doodles and myself in. But I guess in terms of the question, would it be how would, say, filming the scenes for the handy dandy notebook, how would they typically go? Would they
What do you
just
mean?
kind of like be up towards the camera? Would it be a separate scene?
What are you talking about?
Like the handy dandy notebook.
When I was
Would-
drawing in it?
Yeah, would it be like cut right to that scene? Would it be a separate thing? Would it still be you even? And, you know, it's kind of just.
I didn't draw the clues.
You heard it here, folks.
Blasphemy.
You try it. You try to draw that cow in 13 seconds. That was the hardest job on set. We would burn through animators. They'd show up and they'd be like, "Give me the green sleeve. I can do it." Damn! Oh my God, no! And they would like leave. No one could do it. It was the hardest job on the set. Like sometimes you're just drawing a triangle, and then that's fine. But like Tracy Johnson, who drew and did the entire design of Blue's Clues and is the voice of Blue, she drew some crazy clues. They were like in 3-point perspective and like. And whatever time we had left over from shooting, that's how long you had to do it. It was by far the hardest job. Like, what I'm saying is professional artists quit. And they're like, I can't do this.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
question. Hi.
Oh, hello, my name's Joe.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, Steve. So, love your show so much. Even the mail time where that song got stuck in my mom's head, and I'm sure she hates you.
Please don't
but,
sing that. It took me 12 years to stop singing.
But my question is, I couldn't mail one of my letters when I was younger, so I was wondering if Steve Ask Steve could answer a question for 4-year-old me back in the day. Steve, why do we tear down birds' homes to make birdhouses?
Because sometimes people think they're being kind and they're not. And it takes wisdom to know when your kindness is truly kind. Pulled that right out of my butt.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Steve. Hopefully that was better than Scott's.
Oh my goodness! I'm so glad you didn't ruin that kid's life like you did the pizza guy. Whew. Crisis averted. Hi.
Because human beings are inherently cruel.
How are you?
Hey, Steve. First of all, I can't believe you say you're bad at improv because that was just amazing. You just pulled that out of nowhere. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for everything. Obviously, your impact on all of us is beyond words. But I wanted to ask a little bit about how the process went when, you switch over from Steve to Joe. Kind of wanted to know, like, did you have a say in, who was cast? Did they involve you in the process? Or were you kind of just like, this is a new guy, this is your brother?
No, I mean, it was a very unique role, right? And it has its own skill set, and I was the only human being who understood it. So, of course, I was involved in like saying, oh, he could do it, he could do it. And we saw a couple of people that were really good, but we were just didn't really have the thing. And then I remember I was sitting with a producer named Wendy Harris, and we were just combing through some old tapes, and I was like, wait, that guy, he's funny, really funny. We should call him back again. And we called him back again, and he did like half of it as Christopher Walken. And he was just a good hang and a real sweet guy. So, yeah, I was a big advocate for him and also for Josh. Josh walked in to his audition, and they were like, what do you think of him? And I was like, he can start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Donovan and I were just actors who got cast on Blue's Clues. Josh is a guy who grew up thinking, I would love to host a
Yeah.
children's television show. He is the nicest, cool. Like, he's cool and nice and funny, and like he is the real deal. Great dude.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
That's the second time someone's name dropped Christopher Walken in this panel. Like not like Chaz Palminteri was in here and name dropped him
Well,
too.
he probably was like, so I was hanging out with Chris Walken.
That's exactly what it was.
It wasn't like,
Honestly, it was like, we were having lunch, and I was like, what's happening?
I think I'll have the pastrami.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Steve.
Hello.
I'm Lynn. I must compliment how low and bassy your voice is. I love the bass vocal part. It is my vocal part. There are not enough basses on Broadway or in Hollywood at this moment, and I appreciate how low your voice is.
Are you a fan of Joy Division?
No,
You should
but
listen
what
to
I
Joy
am a
Division.
fan of.
Are you a fan of The Magnetic Fields?
No.
That's a band you're going to listen to tonight. You're going to be like,
Certainly am.
oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
But some music that I am a fan of, and in fact my family is a fan of. This is a question from my brother Amos, who's sitting over there.
What did he say?
Amos.
Okay.
We are fans of Songs for Dust Mites,
Oh,
and we
hey.
were interested in learning a little bit more about your music career.
My music career is it's really interesting. Like I was always kind of, in bands and not much of a player. I don't play, but I can bash out a song, right? And while I was doing Blues Clues, what I would do to like unwind after Blues Clues is I got Pro Tools and I started like hacking around and really getting into production and kind of writing loops and just kind of writing some songs. And I fell in love with this band called the Flaming Lips, and I thought they were just the most brilliant thing I had ever seen. And I found their producer and I sent him my demo, and he called me back. And he was like, "You're the Blues Clues guy." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I will confess, I listened to your demo to make fun of it." And he's like, "But 3 of these songs are pretty good. Like, what did you want to do? Did you want to work on them?" Like, I was like, "I would love that. I would love to just get these songs up and hear if they do anything." He's like, "Well, what? Yeah, I have 3 days. I have 4 days, like a long weekend. Yeah, you can use the studio between, whatever." And I went up there, and the Flaming Lips were recording the Yoshimi album up there. And so I got to hang out with them and meet them, and we became like buddies, like immediately. Talk about meet your heroes. These were my heroes, and we became like best friends. And the one guy who plays all the instruments in that band was like, "I really like this one. Could you mind if I put a drum part on that?" And then he just started like adding to my music, and I was like, "This is happening. This is happening. This is happening. This is happening." And then I made a whole record with that producer, and also the guy who produced the Blues Clues music worked on it. And then Wayne, the lead singer, was like, "Well, we like you, Burns. Why don't you come on tour with us?" And so I went on tour with them, and I opened for them in the UK for the Yoshimi tour in front of thousands of people every night. And I'll just finish the story real quick, but it was really meaningful. Like, the first night I went out there, and I was at the Hammersmith Apollo where David Bowie did Spiders from Mars. It's like my first gig.
Oh, God.
And I'm standing there, I'm like, "I'm gonna rock your face so hard." And I'm like playing, and 5,000 people rushed to the stage, right? And by the end of that song, they all went to the bar. And they never came back for the whole tour, and I'm not kidding. I'm bad live. And at the end of that tour, Wayne, the lead singer from the Flaming Lips, he invited me over to his house for coffee. And he was like, "Burns, yeah, that didn't work." He's like, "We like you. I like your songs. Everybody likes you. But let me tell you something, Steve. People come to rock shows for 3 reasons. The first is to get drunk. The second is to possibly get laid. And the third one is to watch human beings believe in themselves in a way that they cannot." He's like, "You don't have that third thing." Oh, no. And he was right. Because I skipped all the steps in the world. I didn't go out there and earn that position and whatever. But the songs were good. And the first song on that album is now the theme song to Young Sheldon.
Oh, yeah.
So I wrote, play, and sing the theme song to Young Sheldon.
Amazing.
So I am technically
yes, a rock star?
a professional musician.
Oh, okay. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. I will listen to those bands tonight.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. Like a lot of people here, I really loved the show growing up, and it meant a lot to my childhood. And also your thing earlier about high college students getting it, I can confirm is accurate. My question comes from my partner, who's not here today. Steve left the show, went to college. What did you major in?
Oh, I think Steve totally majored in criminal justice and forensics and became the world's worst detective. Like he was just like. Are you asking me personally, or like are you asking me about the character, Steve?
Both.
I quit college to do Blue's Clues, and I think Steve, the character, I love like him doing a keg stand at a party is hilarious. I think he went to college and studied criminal law and became a cop.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, absolutely.
Or a detective, because that's what he was always doing. He was looking for clues.
I love it. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Steve. My name is Amanda. I'm the one who gave you the paintings earlier.
You what?
I gave you paintings that I made
Oh, yes,
for you.
thank you for those. Those are beautiful.
Thank you. I was curious. Out of all of your friends on the show, aside from Blue, which one did you like the most?
Mr. Salt. I just so loved the guy who was the voice of Mr. Salt. He also wrote, Mailbox and Mr. Salt wrote all the music for the show, right? They were the musicians for the show. And I just so adore Nick, the guy I just adore him. And Mr. Salt was just funny, and I could relate to Mr. Salt because he was a bumbling man-child running around the house. But aside from that one, I loved the character of the side table drawer. It was just so sweet because she was so shy, and she was always like, hey, hi. But the girl who played side table drawer was like, I don't know, she was like this tall, and she could sing like, oh my God, she just destroy a room with how good she can sing. So we kind of wrote this character arc for Side Table that all she wanted to do was be this diva, and she had this diva inside of her, and all she had to do was open up.
Oh my God. Well, we're all crying now. Thank you.
So I love that character because we were talking about this backstage. I'm an introverted person, you know, and I just love that character was as well.
I think that's what's important is like if you're going to create something for children essentially to watch, they all need to be represented. They can't just be one note because you need to be able to relate to something. Like I wouldn't watch certain shows when I was a kid because I was like, well, this is too much. This is almost too many colors. And because I'm dyslexic, if a lot of the show had to do with words and things coming up on the screen, I didn't know why I couldn't see what everyone else saw.
Like
until
Sesame? Like parts of Sesame?
Until like we figured out that I was dyslexic, I was like, I hate this show, but I don't know why. So it's very important to sort of showcase so everyone has something to grab onto, which I think obviously Blue's Clues has done. So thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hello. We have time for like a few more questions, but go ahead.
Hi, Steve.
Hey.
My name's Matthew, and you know, everyone, favorite show. But quick thing, I actually, I didn't know that there was actually going to be this here. I thought it was just going to be the signing, that was it. And like when I saw this, I like ran over because I thought this would be my only chance. But you know, everyone's like, love the show, love that. But I actually remember when like you told everybody like why you left. But then I remember like a couple years later, I was scrolling through Instagram when I probably should have been doing my schoolwork. And I saw a clip of the video about you talking about coming back, and especially the part where you said you never forgot about us. Then I went to go see that full video, and it really touched me. And it even made me remember the episode where you left, where you said your goodbye, and Joe was going to fill in your place. I'm not going to ask for the favorite episode or the parts that you filmed. I wanted to know which scenes or even episodes collectively that sit with you or resonate with you, or at least ones that you still can call back to today and you still have a feeling towards it.
Thank you for your question. That one was a big one. That was hard for me. The take they used was one of the only ones where I didn't cry, you know, because I kind of improv that whole like, thank you for all your help, you know, and so everybody was like, that was a big one. I always remember there was one episode where we just sat there and listened to rain for like 45 seconds. I was like, this is baller TV, man. This is sweet. And then there's ones where I got to sing songs with Ray Charles. That's a huge one. And I love the very first one. Oh, and I love the one where I got to be the big bad wolf. I'm talking like this. And I love that. I love every episode where I use the sock puppet. And yeah, and the one where I got to be Elvis Presley. Yeah, I could go on and on, but it's moments, not episodes that I remember.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have one more question. I'm so
guys.
sorry. Time is our enemy. Please go ahead.
I was talking too long. I'm sorry.
No.
Hi, my name is Lainey. I grew up with you and Blue's Clues. I watched it every single day. It was my favorite show. And you're actually what made me want to get into acting and children's theater in particular.
In what theater?
Children's theater.
Okay.
So I have sort of an acting-based question for you.
Sure.
Since the show is sort of formulaic, each episode, did it ever get monotonous for you as an actor? And if so, how did you kind of break out of that and try to switch it up?
Honestly, I think for a while I kind of led the show into a direction it didn't need to go, because I was like, we need to be more pro-social and story-based. And it's like, that's not really what we do need. We're just kind of like Highlights Magazine. Blue's Clues is an educational format, and that was my true job was to facilitate a curriculum. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, it was like a Mad Lib show at a certain point.
Right.
Like, hey, Blue, blah, 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 blah. Oh, we'll play Blue's Clues to blah, 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 blah today, you know, and all the scenes were kind of the same, and they would follow, deliberately follow a format that could be anticipated by a 4-year-old, right?
Right.
But what was always interesting to me was you will help me, right? Like, that moment, that even in the first audition, I remember doing that. And I always say, like, if this is too close to the camera, I did it here. And like, I let that silence go for so long that it felt weird. And then I kept going, you know?
Yeah.
And there's like something in that moment that always felt compelling and interesting to me. And so when I would get bored, I would, you know, my respite was to relate to the camera. You know, that's where I would recharge.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. Philadelphia, can we show Steve some love? Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your con.